I'm a playing card guy. I like having playing cards around. I think it's important we should be able to amuse ourselves in case there's no power grid. It's a thing I like, so I'm getting a bunch of cards. What I'm not is a cardistry guy, so you're not going to see me flipping them around my hands. Mad respect for anybody who can do that, but it's just not what I get them for. I get them kind of for the artwork. I like the designs on them. I like to have a bunch of fancy decks on hand. So I took advantage of the Black Friday sale on playingcarddecks.com. They've got a fantastic array of playing cards. I could spend 2 hours on there just flipping through the different designs. They give you nice little glimpses of every card, but they don't give you a picture of the full deck. But I got 4 different decks I'm going to take a look at today from an appreciator's perspective. You know, from an artistic, looking at the designs on the cards and the pips and all that. This is my blind reaction to this. I cut a slit in the packaging, but I promise you I didn't look at these other than the look that I got on the website. And here we go. Well, so I will have to fiddle with this somewhat, but hey. This is the part that I fast forward. Oh, shrink wrap too, great. Alright, so what do we got here first? Getting close on the cam. This looks like the Faro deck that I got. Doesn't say that on here, it just says playing cards, the Russell and Morgan Company, Cincinnati. It's kind of a throwback, right? So this takes you back to when cards had no indexes. Indexes are the number and the little pip up in the corner. That's really all the information that you need on a playing card. They got some of these decks that I call index only, that just have whatever picture they want on them, and then just a little index in the corner. You know, they're the kind of decks that showcase you know, famous paintings or bridges or whatever. But so I'm not going to be getting any of those in any index only. But these are no index cards. I'm curious. You know, obviously I haven't been playing cards with friends recently, but I'm curious as to how much of a pain they are to actually play with, not having the indexes. You know, the indexes are there so you can see. You know, if you have a bunch of cards fanned out, you have quick information. But these do not have indexes. Indexes were invented later on. I think in the early days they called them cheaters. Well, them cards got the cheaters on there. But these were famously, no index cards were famously used in Faro games. If you've seen Deadwood, they all play Faro. It's really just a betting game. You just bet on which card is going to come up. So it's not really too amusing unless you've got stakes on it. But if you've got stakes on it, anything is amusing. Coin toss is amusing. So this is the throwback Faro deck. With no indices. Russell and Morgan, I believe, was the predecessor to United States Playing Card Company, a bicycle. Right. I like the back, right? Speckled. It's like the floor of your chemistry lab in school or something. It's a nice speckle here. Okay, these feel just like a bicycle. Now, I'm not a cardistry guy, but I do take note of handling because it's important. You know, if playing games, you're shuffling all that. You want it to be nice quality. They feel. I've got a standard bicycle deck here. Just for comparison, you've seen these. These are the standard deck you can get anywhere. And these have the best coating. The only thing is they're a little bit thin. Right, and I think they can be warped a little bit over time. But even in the bright light here, you can take a note of the actual texture of the card. You know, they're very finely textured. I get a detail of that. And it's the same sort of thing going on here. See that kind of square pattern? So there's a bicycle deck. All the ones on the Black Friday sale were bicycles. So let's see. How cool is that, right? Just lay it down. Boom. The ace. You have to have a little A in the corner telling you it's an ace. That just graphic symbol right there. It's just, ooh. I'm beat. You win the trick. they fancy, huh? I didn't expect this. Gaff, I believe, or something. It's a card with no face. Okay. An ace. 2. So all the pip cards are going to be like this. They're just, you know, like your standard cards, but without the indices. So I'm going to move along these until I get to a court card. It's a 9. The H is the 9. 10. Okay, here comes a jack. Yo! Look at that! Look at that guy! The jack. I believe on these early ones, the jack was always showing his feet. That's why in the game of cribbage, if a jack comes up in certain instances, you score 2 points for his heels. Because I guess you can see him. And also important to note, it's a one-way design. So a lot of other cards, they'll be symmetrical, you know, you flip them that way, but this just goes one way, so it's not symmetrical. The queen, la dame. I love the feel of the faces here. They're just so funky. And these old cards still retained the very busy designs that you see in a lot of the standard cards. You know, for obvious reasons, they didn't want their deck designs replicated, all that. And the king. There we go. Yeah, see the king. You can't see his feet. Also got the better crown than the jack. I don't know what you call the hats that the jacks wear. That is cool. You know, indexes are very handy, but they kind of muck up the look of the card altogether. So I'm curious as to how these actually play. If it's going to be too much of a pain to have to like count up the pips on the card in the case of like 8 or 9. But I imagine you get used to it. But I can't wait to break this out. Because quality-wise, it's your usual bicycle standard thin card. These are going to handle very well. A lot of Faro cards, I had to look at a couple because a lot of Faro cards have square corners. And I'm sorry, I think those will just get beat up. You know, it is true to the history and to how those cards actually were. But after handling them a while, they're going to get beat up. They're going to... the one with the raggedy corner is the 5 of spades. You know, they're going to get marked that way. So I had to go with one... you know, you can still have an old school design in a good quality new card. It's the best of both worlds. So these are awesome. I'm gonna see if I can find a joker. Spill the... and here they are. Alright, so, and the ace of spades too is another important one. Very old school, very fancy. U.S. playing cards, Russell and Morgan, Cincinnati. Okay, so there's a nod to their new name. Awesome. The bicycle pedaling frog. Frog. I'm thinking of the game Hugger Mario. Bicycle pedaling dog. And a bicycle pedaling dog for the jokers. Identical joker. What's he saying? Whoa. What's that Jack saying here? He's got his mouth open. These court cards are just too cool. I'm so glad I got this deck. Cannot wait to have some fun with this one. And it looks like the printing is a little offset. You know, old cards were made with somebody stamping them out, so they were a little bit imperfect, and they've captured that here. Let's find a club. How the clubs look. Nice. Like that club shape, just a little bit of wonkiness, little hand stamped feel. Love it. Love it. So again, this is the U.S. Playing Card Company Faro deck. It'll look like this: Russell and Morgan Co., Cincinnati. If you want to get it yourself, it's on playingcarddecks.com for a very reasonable price. And Azure Docs. 2019. But it feels like 1857. All right, let's go on to the next deck. Bourbon. 808 proof, bottled in Kentucky. U.S. Playing Card Company, also out of Erlanger, Kentucky. Not too far from where I'm at. There's an old Kentucky proverb that says, keep your friends close and your bourbon closer. Now you can do both with the Bourbon deck from Bicycle Playing Cards. Bicycle makes all sorts of decks. You know, they have free reign to incorporate any kind of design, any kind of limited edition run they want to do. So they had to make a bourbon one, right? Being there in Kentucky. I think bourbon is also part of the kind of poker culture. You know, it's the symbol of the night out with good friends. You know, you gotta drink. Got the cigars if you partake. You got the poker cards strewn out on the table. Got friends talking trash. And if you're really doing good, you got a little glass of bourbon there, which if you're drinking the bourbon, play with the bourbon cards. So the card dudes call this a tuck. And the box, they come in a tuck case because of how the top of it comes together. You tuck it in. A little bit of shine on that. I imagine these card stock wise are going to be the same as the Bicycle Standard or the Faro one we just saw, just with that beautiful texture that's going to keep them slicker than snot, and a thinner card stock. Brand new thing. All right, let's spill them out. Cool. So what I take note of first is this very toned, very beige sort of default stain of the card. You know, the ones you see past the borders here. It's not that crisp white on a new deck. It's aged like bourbon, you feel me? That is the design of the back. 808. I'm not sure what the 808 is in reference to. Maybe it's their area code. It's at 808 proof, which would be 404% alcohol by volume. So drink up. Right. Get a good angle on this. Huh, that 2 looks upside down. How cool is that heart pip, huh? And with the stained background, I really love that. That is a vibe to be sure. Just the speckled, stained quality. These pips are going to be the same. How they look with more. I like the font too. That's the one thing I take note of is the font of the indices for the cards that have them. Very cool font for those. All right, here come the courts. Jack, Queen, Kings of Hearts. Still keeps the shape with the So the King of Hearts usually has the sword up here behind his head or going through it, however you might like to see it. Here, he's still got his hand up, but he's pouring a little shot of bourbon down there. How cool is that? Queen's got a nice bourbon something on the rocks there with a sprig of hearts. Look at that. Cool. What's Jack doing? Oh, Jack's the bartender. Jack's shaking him up. And I love the border work. They didn't make it just a square border. They got a little fancy frame there. Awesome. Wonder if the other courts are doing something else. Here we go. Here's the clubs. Yeah, they're all a little different. Jack's not the bartender anymore. Jack's got a bottle there. Nice. Maybe the clubs are just kind of the bar patrons here, just having a drink. Snacks, diamonds. Christmas face here. Whoa, Queen of Diamonds got the whole barrel. Oh, and that looks to be a distillery that the king has there. This guy that actually makes the stuff. Props to the King of Diamonds. And the Jack is also involved in the bourbon making process. So the diamonds are like the makers, the manufacturers of this fine bourbon. Great. Find the spades here. Okay, King of Spades. Alright, I found them. So, King of Spades. Got the garnish with the cherry, perhaps that's the old-fashioned there. Queen is kind of a martini-type drink. Oh, and the Jack has the snifter. So these are the elite drinkers right here. It's gone from the manufacturers in the diamonds to the kind of regular bar patrons to the connoisseurs. Spades is the highest rank in bridge. Maybe that's why these are the high mucky mucks. All right, and the Ace of Spades. Nice, I like it. I usually don't like aces of spades with a lot of writing, but if you're going to write anything, this is going to be it. Just a simple statement. Bicycle 808 proof, U.S. Playing Card Company. That's the winner right there. That'll take the trick. Boom. Let's find some jokers. One of them has color. So the color barrels can be your big joker, and then your little joker. Got the king's heads on the barrels. Little spade down there, holding it in place. A couple of information cards. One on bourbon. I don't want to read all that. I'll let you read that when you pick up a pack of your own at playingcarddecks.com. Let's disconnect to reconnect. I think that's an appeal to off-the-grid gaming, as it were. So, very nice. 808 bourbons. And now, Aureo. You can't say Oreo. You can't. These aren't Oreo cards. This deck of cards showcases the golden ratio in art and design, and pays tribute to Da Vinci, I believe it was, who studied the golden ratio's properties and spread the word to the other Renaissance artists. Look at that embossing on the tuck. How about that? This is for a distinguished card night. Beautiful. Also, all these little coils are golden ratio shaped, for lack of a better word. This particular curve is something you're going to see a lot of in this deck, celebrating the golden ratio. Here we go. Oh, open them face up. Well, let's take a look at the Ace of Spades while it's staring us in the face. This is beautiful. I really like the spade shape. Well, this is all about shape, right? It's definitely incorporated those pleasing to the eye golden ratio shapes. Another nice simple inscription. Aureo. Open this upside down, sort of, but let's take a look at the back. On camera, these are really bold and vibrant, but here in person, seeing these, it's actually very muted. This gold detail is a little darker than how it shows up on camera, so very subdued, very classy. Now, I don't believe they've changed the font of the indices at all. These are your standard font. Let's look at the quartz. So these are traditional quartz, but in a muted color palette. You know, they all follow the golden color scheme or colorway that you see throughout this deck. Also, they don't have the border, that boxy border that you see on a lot of standard court cards. So it's just a little cut above, you know. It's just a little special. You find some other courts to show you. Here come the clubs. Now, I really like, my favorite thing in a deck is to see all the courts have like a fun theme going on, like in the Bourbon deck. So here it's a little more standard, but a little special too. For the jokers, where my jokers go? We got jokers? Surely we got jokers. Oh, left them in the box. Whoa. These are very striking jokers. As they should be, you know, you pull the joker out in the game, it's whoa. So nearly identical except for a golden index on the big joker. And what did I tell you? It's all about Da Vinci and the golden ratio. There's that that curl that is just all throughout the tuck design. Like a curl of a conch shell that just goes right to Da Vinci's nose. I love the choice of making it that dark color just in contrast with the rest of this, what's otherwise a mostly standard deck. Boom. Big dark joker, borderless printing all the way to the edge. Very nice touch. So that is the Aureo. Bicycle House Blend. And this is all about the beans, baby. This is the coffee deck. They had a couple of different ones of these in brown, and then green, I think, was the other colorway. But I just like the illustration, the bold, thick lines. And this coffee. Poker size. So poker size is going to be wider than bridge size. It's bridge, you got to hold 13 cards in your hand. With poker, sometimes only 2. So poker is going to be a little wider. Just a little bit. Okay, mélange maison. Au français. How about that back, though? This is a big part of why I got this deck here. Look at that. It's the coffee deck, baby. Incorporates the spade and the latte foam. Love it. And let's have a look. Here's another big reason why I got this. I don't like those this bright cherry red that's on the standard ones. Now, I do think it's important that the 2 suits be different colors for games like Solitaire, but this just kind of coffee brown for the reds. Love it. Love, love, love it. Standard font for the pip cards. These aren't going to be too different. And this is sort of like the Bourbon deck. Mostly the same as your standard. These ones do have the border, the box border on the courts. And these are the same pictures, just tilted the colors a little bit to make it nice and warm and coffee-ish. Little accent of green here, which I think is a great contrast to all the browns going on. So the red cards, not bright outward red, but they're brown color. They're the color of the deck. And then I assume the black ones will be black. No, not really. It's very subtle difference between the 2 colors used here, but enough of one. Definitely enough of one. You gotta have the colors if you play it Solitaire. I do intend getting on some 4-color decks here in the future, which are handier for trick-taking games like Bridge. But the 2 colors you gotta have for some games like Solitaire, Euchre. Alright, let's find the Ace and the Jokers. Okay, these are the Jokers, the Bicycle Pedaling King, that come in the standard bicycle deck. And again, with the theme of just a nice understated ace of spades. Not a big spade here, well, except just in the latte foam. That's where your spade is. But that is enough. That will serve as a great ace of spades. All right, those are the 4 decks I got. But I'm looking over here. Are these remnants? I was not expecting this at all, but this came just in the bubble wrap. Maybe these are teaser decks. So when I see them, I say, oh, I have to get the full one of this because this is amazing. Right here we have a 10 of spades. I love the shape of that spade. That is beautiful. Very ominous card face. The Roman numerals in the face of a clock. This has served its purpose. I want to check into this deck now, possibly buy it. Who knows? It's another Faro one. I think these are neat anyway with the no indices.
Post-production research results. This is the Time V5 deck, manufactured by 52 Cards. It is a marked deck, but the manufacturer does not provide instructions on how to read it. Can you read that this is a 10 of spades? Say how in the comments.
And mystery card number 2. Oh, I think I've seen this one. I forget its name, but this is a very decorated one, where even the pip cards have illustrations tying all the pips together. So in a card like this, there'd be a background that incorporates those 10 spades in some way. Valet. So this is a Jack of Diamonds. Okay, the name escapes me of this particular one, but it's a very cool deck as well.
Post-production research results. This deck is the US Playing Card Company reproduction of Kata's Almanac No. 1, a transformation deck from 1805. Transformation cards are cards on which the pips are incorporated into an artful scene. Illustrated by Kata, these scenes were inspired by Friedrich Schiller's play Die Jungfrau von Orleans about Joan of Arc.
This one, very standard back. And a very standard front. Okay, that's not compelling me to do anything, really.
Post-production research results. I didn't research this one, are you kidding me? Who cares?
But, so they give you teaser cards. That's another cool thing to keep in mind. Playing Card Decks is also advertising their sister site, tarotmerchant.com. Now, I am interested in getting a French tarot deck. It's strictly for card playing, it's one with the games in mind, so it has the standard suits. You can't really find those here because they're more about the divination and whatnot, so I will be checking out Tarot Merchant. And Pipbox Club, monthly subscription. Well, can't really subscribe to cards at this point, but it's a cool thing to keep in mind for the future. This is a pretty special purchase here for me. Yeah, playingcarddecks.com. I've got very cool, very artistic decks here to play with, and you should check them out as well. Get you some cards, learn you some games, get you some cards. It'll be a great time. Bye.